CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to legendary Lambeau Field. Over 72,000 fans watching on a perfect day, Steve. 6 degrees at kickoff time.
You're frostbitten, Gus. It is. It's a long perfect. It's a long way from perfect, but it's not bad. I'll tell you, it's quite a day.
All right, Houston has won the toss and will receive the football. Gary Kubiak in his 4th season, and his team coming off a 30-17 win against Jacksonville on Monday. And Mike McCarthy on the other side in his 4th season as well. His team coming off a 35-31 dramatic loss last week to the Carolina Panthers right here in Green Bay. Second meeting between these two teams. Green Bay won the first meeting back in 2004, 16-13 on a Ryan Longwell 46-yard field goal. And we're underway from Green Bay. Andre Davis from the goal line. And Davis all the way up to the 25-yard line before being stopped. A return of 25 yards. So Matt Schaub back on the field, and his last start was on November 2nd at Minnesota. He's missed 5 straight games with the knee injury. So Matt Schaub for this Houston Texans team this season, 3-4 as a starter, 7-11 all time. He starts from his own 25. First down and 10. Leach and Slayton line up in the eye. Play fake, shot, rolling, dumps it off to his fullback, Leach. And Leach will gain 5 yards on the play as he's knocked out of bounds. Offensively for Houston, they rank 5th in the NFL, 5th in passing, 15th in rushing. Winston will have his hands full with Aaron Campman today, one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. As for the backs and receivers, Kevin Walter is Mr. Touchdown. He has 7 receiving touchdowns this season, tied for 7th in the NFL. And there he is in his 6th season out of Eastern Washington. Now Slayton running over the left side with a huge opening. Slayton keeping his feet moving, and the rookie out of West Virginia picks up 12 yards on the play. Last week against Carolina, the Packers defense allowed 5 rushing touchdowns for the first time since 1980 against Chicago. Campman, though, with 2 sacks, he has 9.5 on the season. The linebackers, A.J. Hawk in the middle, and he starts at middle linebacker for the 4th time this season. He hasn't played middle linebacker since high school. And in the secondary, Charles Woodson moves from left corner to strong safety because of injuries. Now it's Schaub throwing, looking down the field, and it's caught. And it's Walter. Touchdown number 8. And Houston striking quickly, 58 yards.
Well, if there's any question about Matt Schaub's courage, he dispelled it on that last throw. He got crushed in the pocket right as he threw it. He hung in there tough. Watch Campman and Bishop, bang. Campman comes in and gets it. Watch Walter. He comes out. It's a deep throw, a little hesitation and go. But watch, the ball's underthrown because of the pressure. Walter steps inside, and the 2 defenders trip over it, and it's gone.
Tremont Williams covering.
Gus, the story of that play was Matt Schaub standing in the pocket and laying it out there. I mean, it wasn't a great throw, but because he got rid of it and because Walter could adjust to it and the defender couldn't, man coverage is tough. And the Texans made the Packers pay for it.
A 58-yard touchdown, and there's an injured player on the far side. It's Nick Collins, who got banged up last week as well. 6-0 Houston Texans showing the big play on their opening drive. Back to Green Bay after this. All right, Nick Collins is okay. He's on the Packers sideline. Houston striking with a 58-yard touchdown pass from Schaub to Kevin Walter. Now the extra point by Chris Brown, up and good. 7-0, 8 receiving touchdowns on the year for Kevin Walter.
Here's the touchdown, Gus. As you go back and look at it, here's Campman right here. He's going to get pressure here. He can't get there before Walter gets outside up here and has to come back. Watch the quarterback Schaub as he drops back as well. He's going to stand in there knowing the pressure's on, makes the throw. Not a great throw at all, but Walter makes the play.
Walter, great year, 50 catches. That was his 50th catch. Over 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. He came into this game averaging close to 15 yards per reception. And Matt Schaub, on his first big pass back, throws the bomb, and it pays off for the Texans.
You can see there at the end of that, right when Walter caught it, that's where Collins got hit, too, as his own man that he rolled into. And the collision left him shaken up before we went to break. And then Walter, it's one of those plays, Gus, it rarely happens. Right there you see the play. He's the guy that went in low, not the guy that went over the top. Collins, that is. And Walter, it's one of those rare plays, Gus, where the ball's caught and there's nobody to chase him.
Kevin Walter, 6th year out of Eastern Washington, as the Texans prepare to send it away. Houston's confidence growing, especially after the big Monday night win over Jacksonville. Will Blackman is back deep for the Packers as Chris Brown sends it away. Blackman taking some steps up. He fields it at the 11. And Blackman crosses the 30 and gets up to the 32-yard line, an 18-yard return. And that brings out Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, 29 of 45 last week, 298 yards against Carolina, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That interception coming late. He was sacked twice. His quarterback rating 96.3, and he completed passes to 9 different receivers.
Yeah, and that interception was late in the game with 1:30 to go. He's trying to throw it down, kind of a desperation throw. So it's kind of hard to count it against him. He's trying to make a play at a time in the game where you had to make the effort to do that.
So first down and 10 at the 32. Hall and Grant line up. And they hand it to Ryan Grant, second man through, and he gets to the 35, up to the 37-yard line, a 5-yard run. Packers offensively ranked 10th in the NFL overall, 10th in passing, 18th in rushing. Clifton is their Pro Bowl left tackle. The backs and receivers, Donald Driver, another 50 reception season with Lee, and the other dangerous receiver, Greg Jennings, who leads them this season. Second down and 5 at the 37. Here's the handoff, and it's Grant running over the right side. He gets to the 40. Defensively for the Texans, last week against the Jaguars, the Texans defense forced 3 turnovers and sacked David Garrard 3 times. Mario Williams leads all defensive ends in the AFC in sacks with 11. And the linebackers, Adibi doing a terrific job. 4th round pick rookie out of Virginia Tech. And in the secondary, a healthy Dante Robinson is back in the starting lineup at corner. Brandon Jackson comes in for Green Bay. 3rd down and 2 at the 40, out of the gun. Rodgers pumping, going up top, and he's got a receiver incomplete. He just couldn't put it on Driver, and there is a flag on the play at the 45.
It might be the reason the Driver couldn't get out of his break where Aaron Rodgers thought he was going to be.
Holding. Number 23 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And that's Robinson. Dante Robinson called for the hold. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and that's what kept him from getting out. And Robinson tries to get in. That's a veteran play. He knows he got had right there. He tried to jump underneath the slant, and it wasn't a slant. It was a corner route. And he got caught. And it's probably a good penalty to take, because if he doesn't get his hand on Driver's in the end zone.
And the Packers have scored on their opening drive only twice this season, at Tampa Bay week 4 and against Indy week 7. First down, and Rodgers with time underneath, and it is knocked away at the last moment. Eugene Wilson coming up and making a play.
Wow, and that was a nice play coming up from the safety spot. Watch, You'll see him right at the bottom and coming in from the top, watching the quarter, and that's what safeties do so well, Gus. They don't really even look at the receiver. They kind of have an idea of where they are. They're looking right at Aaron Rodgers' eyes. When he's not going to throw it someplace he's not looking. So they watch where he's going and try and get there before the ball does.
Jermichael Finley, the intended receiver, 2nd down and 10. At the 45, here's Grant. And Grant gets all the way up to midfield and into Houston territory. D'Amico Ryans with the tackle. That's a gain of 5. And Ryan Grant did not play in the second half last week against Carolina because of a sprained thumb. But he is healthy and ready to go today.
Yeah, it's funny because you think about a guy running the football, you think, well, what's his thumb got to do with it? And really what it comes down to is one of the most crucial statistics in football, Gus, turnover. If you can't hang on to the ball, you can't play.
3rd down and 5 at midfield for Rodgers. Very mobile quarterback. Out of the shotgun. Opening drive for Green Bay. Here's Rodgers up top. It's incomplete. Jennings, the intended receiver, and it looks like there was some miscommunication on that route.
Yeah, Rodgers was throwing that down. Jennings gets loose. Watch, it's a great release. He gets untouched and he comes up, gives his quarterback room, and he's a little late to look. See, the ball's already past him. He was expecting the football down the field, or perhaps he thought Rodgers was going to throw it to a shallow route. He was not looking for the football, and that would have been an easy completion for a big gain.
And a new punter for this Packers team, Jeremy Capanos. That one off the side of his foot and out of bounds at the 25. He replaces Derek Frost, who was released on Monday after a poor performance against Carolina. And Capanos, the first-year player out of Penn State, gets off to a rocky start, 25 yards. Welcome back. 1st down and 10 for Houston at the 25-yard line. Slayton running the ball over the right side, and Slayton breaks the tackle and crosses the 30 up to the 32. Desmond Bishop in today for Brandon Chiller, who's out with the groin injury with the tackle. And let's take a look at that punt, Steve.
Well, there's an article coming out of Green Bay after they signed Capanos. They've been going through punters faster than any other team in the league. And, you know, you come out and punt on a day when it's 5 degrees. It's your first punt for your new team. You didn't even know what number you were going to have until probably Thursday of this week. Tough to come in those conditions.
2nd down and 4 at the 31. Slayton again. And Slayton will tumble forward and get to the 35. How about Slayton? He came into this game with 904 yards rushing. He rushed for 130 yards against Jacksonville and 2 touchdowns. And here's a young man, a 3rd-round pick out of West Virginia, that's really starting to find himself.
No question. And you'll see when he runs the football, one of the things you like about him is he'll get in and run right up between the tackles, and he'll make guys miss in tight spaces. He's got a real ability to stop, sidestep, and then accelerate again, like all the great running backs do. And he's really started to get more and more comfortable in his role.
Rushed for close to 4,000 yards in college. 3rd all-time leading rusher at West Virginia. 3rd down and short. Texans need a yard at the 34. Here's the handoff, and nothing doing. Bishop coming up and making the tackle on Cecil Sapp.
What a great play. This is Bishop right there. Just goes right through. He's the near side outside linebacker, and he doesn't step outside at all. Goes straight forward right between the guard tackle. No chance. What a great defensive play.
Only 18 3-and-outs for the Texans this season, least in the NFL. And now Blackman starts from the 30, and he secures the ball at the 30-yard line. A 39-yard punt. Packers trying to get it going on defense. Back after this. Welcome back. 6 degrees here in Green Bay as the Packers take over. 1st down and 10 at the 31. Hall and Grant line up in the backfield. Play fake. Rodgers fires the bomb down the field for Driver. At the 24. Flag on the play. And the Texans say it's coming back.
Yeah, that's the call. Driver gave a little push.
Pass interference, number 80 of the offense. 10-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
And that'll wipe out a 45-yard gain.
It'll happen at the end of the route, Gus. Watch his driver gets right around Reeves, and then right there, the push. And that's what got him the separation. And I'll tell you, Gus, it doesn't take much. I think it's a good call because he extended his arm. And that's what really gave him the separation. Not only did it accelerate him forward, it pushed Reeves backwards, and defenders hate that.
But I tell you one thing. It looks like the Packer receivers have been able to beat the Texans deep early in this game. They've been misfiring. First down and a long 20 at the 21. Here's Grant. And Ryan Grant, the second-year man out of Notre Dame, gains 5. The Bears and the Jaguars. Here's JB in New York.
Nobody with a call like Gus Johnson. Hey, Gus, you know there's a tight NFC North race after a David Garrard pick. Kyle Orton makes him pay, hooking up with Desmond Clark, a little 2-yard strike. Bears out in front, 7-0 over Jacksonville. Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, you're too kind. Thank you so much.
The big question there, Gus, as you see the Green Bay standings with Chicago, isn't about who's going to win Chicago-Jacksonville. It's about what happened to Jacksonville.
Yes. Very good question. 2nd and 15. Rodgers out of the shotgun. Here's Rodgers stepping up the pocket. And Rodgers gets down at the 31. He's close to the original line of scrimmage in front of D'Amico Ryans. Atlanta's been playing well. Rivalry today with New Orleans. Here's JB.
That's right, Gus. Atlanta with 2 straight road wins, but it's the Saints getting off early at home. Drew Brees hooking up with Reggie Bush. That came after a Matt Ryan pick. It's the Saints on top right now, 7-0. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, 3rd down and 10 at the 31 for Green Bay. As you take a look at the NFC South, Tampa and Carolina. Carolina beating this Green Bay team last week in dramatic fashion. Rodgers, who played well in that game, fires near side, and that's Jordy Nelson, the rookie, with the first down. Jordy Nelson, rookie out of Kansas State, 2nd-round pick, and he picks up 12.
And it's coming back, Gus.
Holding, number 76. Offense, 10-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
Chad Clifton, the left tackle.
Yeah, he was working against Mario Williams, and Mario got around him, and he just tugged him right as he went right. Right here's Mario Williams. This is Chad Clifton. Watch as he comes around the corner. He gets a good run, dips his shoulder, gives him the hard rush, and then Clifton's got his arm around his front. Clifton was behind him and had his arm across his chest, and that's the hold, and that's the call.
So Clifton advancing to the Pro Bowl last season, 9th year out of Tennessee, 3rd down and 20 at the 21. They need to go to the 41 for a first down. Underneath, Nelson again, snares it, tries to get across the field and goes down at the 31-yard line. Gains 10 in front of D'Amico Ryans, but the Packers will have to punt it away.
Yeah, this is, you know, they're just hoping that he can catch this ball and maybe make a couple of guys miss and get the first down. But you really, 3rd and 20 is a tough thing to pick up, Gus. Just get some of it back.
So let's see if Kapanos can do a little bit better after a 25-yard punt. Left-footed punter, and this one driven down. And it's fielded by Jacoby Jones at the 20. Jacoby Jones with a block. Jacoby Jones is down at the 46-yard line. But there is a flag on the play all the way back at the 20.
Yeah, this is going to be a block in the back. Right back where he caught it, I think, Gus. It was a great return, and special teams are going to be a factor here. The Packers gave up a big return last week at the end of the game that put them in a position to lose.
Illegal block in the back, number 32 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Fred Bennett.
You'll see this right here. I'm sorry, he's way out here. That's it. Now watch. He's just going to get it, and boom, you can't do that. The guy, when he gets blocked and the guy turns away from him, Gus, it's always a little too far behind.
Texans backed up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the 2009 Cadillac CTS and by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Matt shot throwing on first down underneath, and it is incomplete, intended for Kevin Walter, who has already scored on a 58-yard touchdown. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you from Lambeau Field, the tundra. And it is frozen today.
It is cold today. It is cold today. This is classic late season Green Bay weather, and this is for as old as this stadium is, being refurbished now over 10 years, these people really treat this as a place that's very special, and it is, Gus.
It's a shrine. Second down and 10 at the 11. Shot with time over the middle. And incomplete, almost picked off Walter, the intended receiver again. Charles Woodson, who's had a nose for the football this season, playing strong safety today, has 5 interceptions this year.
Yeah, and Schaub's going to drop back. He hangs in there pretty good, but Campman's going to put him on his back again and forces really a bad throw. And the pressure is what does it. Schaub throwing this off his back heel, gets pulled to the ground in his own end zone. That's going to be the theme of the day, Gus. If the receivers for Texans can get open against man very quickly, Schaub's got a chance. The longer it takes, the more the pressure's going to be in his face.
Third down and 10 at the 11. And they hand it off. Slayton. And Slayton picks up the first down on third down and 10. A 13-yard gain, and this is a good little young running back, Steve.
Yeah, and what a play, too. 3rd and 10, you got enough confidence to hand it to the rookie. Watch off the left side. Walter comes in, kind of gonna help on the end, but then kicks the safety out of the corner out. Slayton getting right through there. Slayton's really been good, Gus, at running in traffic, running places where you think he's going to get hit, and he comes out unscathed. Really incredible.
And the Texans now 1 for 30 on 3rd down and 9s this season. That was their first conversion of 3rd and 9 or more on that 13-yard run. Campman with the tackle. Now, got a sports fan on your gift list, and shop online at the CBS Sports Store. Beat the crowds and save big on all officially licensed NFL gear right now. Just click on shop at cbssports.com. So that brings up 2nd down and 8 at the 25-yard line. Leach and Slayton line up in the aisle. Andre Johnson, the motion man. Play fake, shot. Looking down the field for Johnson. Throws it into double coverage, incomplete. And Johnson at the 30-yard line. Woodson, Al Harris, both in on the play.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Gus, you always wonder about throwing it into double coverage, even if you're throwing it to Andre Johnson. But when it's Charles Woodson and Al Harris on the double coverage, that's asking a lot. And that's what, that's really what Schaub was doing, Gus. I mean, he was just saying, well, let's see what happens. It was just, we're going to throw it up and see if my guy can make a play. He wanted to let him know that he was going to go to Andre Johnson, whether he was open or not, and make him cover him everywhere.
3rd down and 8 at the 26. Here's Schaub. Steps into his throw, and he underthrows an open receiver. And that time it was David Anderson, 2nd string wide receiver behind Walter.
Yeah, and I think Schaub just underthrows this. It kind of, the nose of the ball goes down into the ground, and it starts to push the ball down and didn't get out there where he thought it was going to be. He had plenty of time to step into it and just didn't make a good throw.
So Matt Turk comes in to punt. He stands at the 11-yard line. Will Blackman, 3rd in the NFC, 5th in the NFL with a 12.8 punt return average, and he's returned 2 punts this season for touchdowns. He'll get an opportunity from the 33. And he gets over the 40 up to the 42-yard line. And that is a 43-yard punt, 9-yard return. David Anderson with the tackle on special teams for Houston. And there is a flag on the play.
During the return, holding number 24, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Jared Bush. 7-0 Houston here at Lambeau. Back to Green Bay right after this. Oh, know we are in Green Bay, folks, where Packer fans have a lot of heart. Wow.
That's insulated paint. Something. Wow.
So Green Bay takes over at the 24, first down for Aaron Rodgers. Packers have had opportunities, but they've misfired, and they've also played sloppy football early with penalties. Play fake, Rodgers rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run, and it's caught. This is Humphrey down the sideline, and he gets to the 45, a 22-yard gain. Harrison with the tackle.
Yeah, this is a great play fake. They haven't done it yet. This is the first boot they've had all day. Rodgers looks and he only double pumps it because he can't believe that Brandon Harrison fell down in the coverage, but he did, and then he went ahead and threw it for the big gain.
So Torrey Humphrey with his 10th catch of the season, third year from Central Michigan. First down at the 46, and they hand it off to Grant, and Grant gets close to midfield. Anthony Weaver with the tackle. Ryan Grant, very interesting player. He was originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by the New York Giants out of Notre Dame in 2005. Was traded to Green Bay for a 6th-round pick September of 2007, and last season he just had a terrific year, running for close to 1,000 yards.
Yeah, you get the feeling too, though, right at this point, he's not quite 100%, although he's taking the bulk of the carries. He'll probably be spelled by Brandon Jackson at some point during the game, but Mike McCarthy told us it's just not quite 100%.
2nd and 7 at the 49. Here's the pitch. Grant tries to get around the corner and does, and is down at the 49-yard line. Picks up a couple. Travis Johnson with the tackle. So Ryan Grant.
You can see he's pushing 1,000 yards, only 3 touchdowns for the year, which goes to their red zone offense problems that they've had. But he has been the guy that they've relied upon. I think he's been, considering the splash he made last year, Gus, on that team that went to the championship game, I think he's been a little bit disappointed in his production this year.
6 carries, 24 yards. Jackson replaces him. Jackson very good on screens. 3rd down and 5 at the 49. Underneath and complete. Ball intended for James Jones, the 2nd-year man from San Jose State. And the Packers have to punt it away again.
Yeah, and this is a blitz. They've got big pressure coming up. Rodgers sees it. So does Jones, but he just can't connect. You see there, he's got to extend it out to get it. And the defender's right there. Brett Bennett's right there.
So Capanos, first punt, 25 yards. Much better on the second, 48 yards. He didn't get much hang time on that second punt, giving Jacoby Jones a chance. Jones, a very dangerous return man. This time, though, Capanos blasts it. And it heads into the end zone for a touchback. A 49-yard punt, a net of 29 yards coming up. Texans from the 20 right after this. Thursday on Survivor, the competition intensifies, setting the stage for the season finale next Sunday on CBS, America's most watched network. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Packer fans,
some people went
crazy. Anything to do to stay warm, right?
Some people go crazy with the heat, not in Green Bay.
Ryan Moats has checked in at running back, and Moats running it over the left side with room, and he was in camp with the Philadelphia Eagles, has played in Philadelphia last few years, released at the end of training camp, finding a home here in Houston as he picks up 3 yards there on first down. And the numbers for Ryan Moats this season, averaging over 4 yards per carry.
Man, that's a great stat, Gus. Per carry yards is really what you look at. And if you have a game where you see a running back and occasionally you see a guy getting 5 or 6 yards a carry, that's because he's not carrying it enough.
Play fake shot, bootleg with time, and he just dumps it out of bounds. Good defense by the Green Bay Packers.
Well, Gus, when you watch the Texans on film, they do that so much. The play action, the bootlegs, their quarterbacks move and throw out of the pocket by design, perhaps more than any team in the National Football League. Schaub did it. They did it with Sage Rosenfeld when he was in the game. It's just part of their offense. And, you know, you had to wonder if Matt Schaub, with that knee brace right there, if he's going to be able to do it today. I think that question's been answered.
Schaub started the game 2 for 2, 63 yards. He's missed 5 straight. 3rd down and 7 at the 23 out of the gun. Schaub underneath, and it's caught. It's a first down at the 35-yard line. Terrific looking catch by David Anderson, and it's a gain of 13.
And I think that's going to be a key, Gus. You see as Schaub drop back, you know, the play action takes a long time, and the bootlegs take a long time to develop, but this play comes out of there pretty quick. A little 5-yard quick slant route, and Schaub gets rid of it. That negates the pressure. It negates protection problems, everything, if Schaub can get rid of it to an open receiver really quickly.
14 catches on the season for Anderson. First down at the 36. Steve Slayton, the single setback. Here's Slayton running right this time. Slayton pops it. Slayton down the sideline, and he's tripped up inside the 30. Nick Collins with the saving tackle, but Slayton picks up 34 yards.
So we talked to Gary Kubiak, and he said that Slayton's getting a little more comfortable with that one cut and go, and you saw it right there. That's what he did. They stretched the defense to the sideline. The back picks a spot, makes one cut, and gets what he can get.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Back to Green Bay right after this. Steve Slayton with 69 yards rushing already as we start the second quarter, and he runs it straight ahead, and Slayton this time won't go very far. But let's take a look at Steve Slayton, and he's getting a lot of support from that offensive line.
Yeah, he goes right between Mike Brizell and Eric Winston. And you know, even Mike McCarthy spoke to us and said he could tell that when he watched him on film that Slayton's getting much more comfortable running this type of offense. Mike McCarthy is very familiar with that Denver running game that Gary Kubiak brought with him from Denver to Houston.
Having some technical difficulties. Second down and 10 at the 30. Schaub deep in the pocket, throws to the sideline. Andre Johnson with the catch, and he's out of bounds close to the 10 in front of Al Harris, and that's his first catch of the day. The NFL's leading wide receiver coming into this game with 88 catches for over 1,100 yards, and he gains 19.
And he's working on Al Harris. As I watch this game, Al Harris is like a shadow with Andre Johnson. Wherever Andre Johnson lines up, it looks like Al Harris is going to be on him. And it's just like one of those fights, Gus. Sometimes you win, sometimes the other guy wins, and it just depends on where the ball's going on that play as if you get to take advantage of it.
First down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Slayton cuts it back, and he goes down inside the 10. Johnny Jolly with first contact. And Houston in the red zone this season, 45 possessions. They've scored 22 touchdowns, 14 field goals. That's a 48.9 touchdown percentage, 21st in the league.
Yeah, and Green Bay has struggled in the red zone of late. Now, they struggled badly last week. Of course, they were put in bad positions. They had a couple of red zone drives that started inside their 5-yard line. But this Houston team has not been all that great in the red zone. 21st in the league is not good enough.
Second down and 8 at the 9-yard line. Schaub over the middle. Schaub caught. Daniels fumble. Loose. Picked up by the Packers. And we have our first turnover.
And I think there's no question that's the right call, Gus. Owen Daniels had that ball, tucked it away, turned up, and it got knocked loose. That's a fumble and a fumble recovery and a turnover.
First and 10, ball at the 3.
Great play by Desmond Bishop to knock that ball loose on the right. Owen Daniels has been having a fine season. Marching into the end zone, unable to hold on. And now the Packers take over at their own 3. And here's a handoff. Grant trying to give them some room as he gets close to the 5. They'll mark it, though, at the 4. Let's take a look at the fumble.
You'll watch as Daniels pulls this in. He's going to pull it in, tuck it away under his left arm, take a step, and then gets hit by Bishop, and that ball comes out. There's no question it was a fumble. Both feet on the ground, and it's tucked away, and he turns it up the field. And that's a classic catch fumble. And you know what, Gus? He didn't complain. He knew it when it happened. He didn't beef the call at all.
Second down and 9 at the 4. Play fake. Rodgers looks far side. Nicely done. Donald Driver steps out of bounds as he picks up a first down, gaining 11 in front of Dante Robinson.
That's just a stop route. Easy when you got man-off coverage.
That's the right tackle, Mark Tauscher.
Yeah,
9th year out of Wisconsin, and he has to be helped off the field.
Yeah, you don't want to start losing offensive linemen at this point of the season, Gus. He'll be replaced by
Tony Mall.
Number
75. There's Mall. 3rd year out of Nevada. Substitutes coming in as Brandon Jackson enters the game at running back as Tauscher. It's not a good sign. He can't put much pressure on his lower body. First down, Mario Williams, the great pass rusher out of North Carolina State, with 11 sacks to lead the defensive ends of the AFC. First down, play fake, Rodgers, far side. Beautiful throw and a beautiful catch by James Jones as he hangs on to that one and gains 12 yards. And last week the Packers started slow, were down by as many as 11, but found their rhythm.
Yeah, no question. And this is, you said it, Gus, great throw and a great catch. Look at him extend and grab it. And I'll tell you, Gus, a cold football on a day like this, it gets slippery. And it starts to hurt when it comes in, whether you got gloves or not. That was a much better catch than it looked like.
First down at the 27. Grant back in the game, as well as Jackson in the backfield. Short drop, underneath, thrown behind, and somehow Jennings is able to hang on. He had to almost turn around to catch that football. Greg Jennings stopped by Fred Bennett.
Well, you're exactly right, Gus. Rodgers pulls this back down and then goes to Jennings as his second option, and Jennings has the presence of mind to stay with it. Watch, he's going to go try to find Driver and can't, and he goes back to Jennings. And wow, to his credit, Jennings stays with the catch after he had to knock it down and then pull it in.
11-yard gain. Jennings leads the NFL with 18 20-plus yard receptions. Here's Rodgers rolling out of the pocket, throws across his body, and it's caught. Rovell Martin, 3rd-year player out of Saginaw Valley State, gains 16, and all of a sudden, the Green Bay Packers have found their rhythm on offense.
Well, you want to know what the weather does to people, because I'll tell you, the Houston Texans aren't making catches like this. The Packers live in this weather, they work in this weather, they train in this weather. This weather doesn't bother them, and those are tough catches to make.
First down at the 46-yard line. Best drive of the day so far for Green Bay. Ryan Grant in the backfield with Rodgers. Here's Rodgers firing up top, wide open, incomplete. He had Jordy Nelson, and that one overthrown.
By Reeves.
Jock Reeves covering.
You said it, he had good separation right there. Reeves closes the gap, but the ball is just about 6 inches too far. Nelson watching the football as it flew over his head. Guys, that's just missed. Throw is just a little too far out there, but by the same token, you can't really blame Aaron Rodgers to try and put it away from the defender.
Second down and 10 at the 46. Out of the eye, Rodgers. He pitches it. Grant. And Grant.
Ran the ball there.
5 yards off the play.
That was a running play, Gus. You see Owen Daniels, the guy who led to the start of this drive inside the Packer 5 with the turnover. That was a pitch play. Usually you see a ball, the quarterback turn to pitch it to the running back, and the guy goes wide around the end. This is a pitch play right up inside the tackles. Really an innovative way to get the ball between the tackles, making it look like a sweep.
Mark Tauscher has a left knee injury. They took him inside to take a look at the knee. Third down 5 at the 41. Rodgers in trouble, and he goes down. by Tim Bullman, his 4th sack of the season. And the Packers will have to punt once again.
Yeah, for a drive that had a lot of promise, Gus, this one turns into nothing, and Bullman comes up. Rodgers saw him just at the last minute, knew he wasn't going to get rid of the football, so he went into the fetal position, just took the blow. Smart play not to turn it over.
And it's a loss of 7. So the Packers punt. Jacoby Jones starts from the 6 and goes out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. A 40-yard punt. Charles Woodson covering a 6-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by BlackBerry. Pizza Hut, introducing Panormus, Pizza Hut's biggest pan pizza ever. And by Turbo HD by Dish Network.
And welcome back, 1st down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Moats remaining in the game and running back, and here's Ryan Moats. And he gains 3 yards on the play. Steve Slayton has been terrific. 9 carries, 75 yards. Aaron Campman with the tackle there. First 4 possessions for the Texans. They got the touchdown on their opening drive.
You know, we're just talking between the break. Aaron Rodgers has completed 6 passes to 6 different guys. Matt Schaub has completed 5 passes to 5 different guys. Nobody's caught more than 1 pass in this game.
2nd down and 7 at the 16. Here's Schaub. Steps up and goes down at the 10-yard line. Desmond Bishop in on the play again. A loss of 6.
Well, it was
Montgomery as well.
Excuse me, it was a 7-man rush. And Schaub just doesn't have enough guys to block. He has 2 or 3 guys that just keep running free. And he drops back. You see the play fake. As soon as he sets up, he's ducking. Bishop's in there. I'll tell you what, Bishop's having a great game, Gus, here in the early going. He's playing lights out.
3rd down and 13 at the 10-yard line. They need to go to the 24 for a 1st down. Schaub out of the shotgun. Slayton lines up as a receiver. They find him on a screen. Here's Slayton over the 20, and Slayton picks up the 1st down. This kid is terrific.
You said
Alfred Malone with the tackle. 1st down, Houston.
That was a great little pass. Watch, this is what he's done so far today. He came in, as we said, just shy of 1,000 yards. 1 cut there, and then a missed tackle, breaks for a big one. This is for a 1st down. This is the big one down the near side. Last guy gets him. And here's a little pass play to him, a little quick screen right out there where he finds a seam and gets a big 1st down, or at least close to it, and close enough to measure, and he did get it.
So Slayton keeping the chains moving for the Texans.
You know, we've talked, Gus, I mean, both these clubs, and you saw the Packers do it in their last series, and of course the Texans have done it, and they just fumble the ball going in. Neither team is that great in the red zone. Gary Kubiak's team offensively and defensively, and also the Packers offensively and defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these teams can get it together and put it in the end zone down close.
1st down and 10 at the 23. Slayton running this time. And Slayton gets to the 25. Cleveland and the Titans playing each other today. Here's James Brown in New York.
Gus and Steve plays 6. Hooking up with Ahmad Hall. He knows what to do with it. 28 yards to pay dirt. Titans on top, 7-6 over Cleveland. That in the 2nd. Back to Gus and Steve.
And these Texans will face the Titans next week in Houston. As you take a look, Tennessee 11-1. Their only loss coming to the Jets. 2nd down and 7 at the 26. Schaub, far side, picked off. Trayvon Williams stepping in. 2nd turnover of the day.
Yeah, the Packers do that better than anybody in the National Football League, Gus. Watch as he's got the receiver coming out, working against Andre Davis, and just steps in front of it. He watches the quarterback and the receiver, makes his play, and just steps in front of the pass. You can't do it any better than that, Gus. Williams starting today in place of Charles Woodson, who moved to safety for Atari Bigby, and they shuffled it around, and man, has it paid off. Williams with the pick down deep in Texans territory.
5th interception of the season for Tramon Williams. And the Packers now have it at the Houston 23-yard line. Grant running. And Grant stopped by Mario Williams. He picks up 3 yards on the play. Turnovers a problem for Houston, already 2 here in the first half.
One of those cost them 7 points as Owen Daniels fumbled it going into the end zone, which is a huge difference maker, because instead of leading by 14, they're leading by 7, and now the other turnover gives them a chance, gives the Packers a chance to tie it up here down in their own end.
2nd down and 7 at the 20. Donald Lee in motion. Play fake. Rodgers looking, fires in the end zone. Touchdown! Donald Lee. He pushed off at the end, but didn't get caught. And the Packers are on the board. A 20-yard strike.
Got a big time. Watch as he gets on. This is a mismatch. Harrison is not as big as Lee is, and he just kind of turns. I mean, they're playing the ball. You see Harrison trying to make it, and Lee just won't let him do it. Turns around and just puts his body between the defender and the ball.
Extra point up and good. 5:07 to play in the 2nd quarter, and we're tied at 7 apiece here at Lambeau Field. Donald Lee, Aaron Rodgers. Packers on the board.
Watch here on this replay, Gus, as this happens. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw this, and you'll see Lee at the end of this working against Harrison. When both the defender and the receiver are looking for it, there's not going to be any offensive or defensive pass interference. Nobody cares. If you're both looking at the football, anything goes.
Andre Davis fields it at the 15-yard line, follows his block, and is shot down at the 30. Some nice looking special teams coverage by Ravel Martin after a 14-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Acura. Visit shopacura.com during the Drive Home for the Holidays event. Acura. Advance. And by Lipitor.
Electric atmosphere here in Green Bay. Our game is tied at 7 apiece. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you as the Texans come to the line of scrimmage. First down at their own 29. Leach and Slayton in the backfield. Play fake, shot, bootleg, looking, fires for everything. Walter has it at the 22. Kevin Walter with the double move in front of Williams, and he picks up 46 yards.
Tramon Williams just had the interception, and then Walters gets him, and then the double move. Oh, nice. And it's a great throw, too, because you'll watch as Matt Schaub drops back on this play fake. Watch as he winds up. This turns into a big, big throw. He puts everything into that throw, and it's right on the money.
And Schaub looked off Williams to a wide-open Kevin Walter. 2 catches, 104 for Walter. First down at the 25. Slayton juking, and Slayton will be taken down at the 20-yard line. Desmond Bishop again.
Slayton got out there in the open space, and he gives a little bit of a, dare I say it, a little Barry Sanders right here, boop, boop, and gets right by the defender. That was a nice move, and that's what he's done, Gus, consistently. He makes guys miss, and that leads to a lot of yards in the NFL.
Houston with 239 yards already in total offense. 2nd and 4 at the 19. Slayton, second man through. And Slayton gets close to the 15-yard line. About a 3-yard pickup. Bottom of the pile, Johnny Jolly and Desmond Bishop.
We mentioned at the top, Gus, in our tools to victory, Houston's got to stay balanced. And with the run and the pass, and I think they're doing that. I mean, Slayton's had some really productive runs and even a big play. And you also think they're passing, they're just going to pass and run all the way down. But the key has been, Gus, as it has been all year for the Texans, can they keep from turning the football over?
3rd down and 1. Here's Slayton again looking for the 1st down, and he will get it as he crosses the 15 and gets to the 14-yard line. The 2-yard gain. So Slayton in the first half, 12 carries, 85 yards.
And he's just got to get past that 15-yard line there, which of course he does. And it's where he got furthest penetration, is where they spot it, and he got it by a full yard. And now it's 1st and 10, and there's balance, Gus. That last run put him 15-14 run to pass.
Houston with 3 timeouts. 1st down at the Green Bay 14. Throws off his back foot, incomplete. Under a lot of pressure this time, Michael Montgomery, the 4th-year player out of Texas A&M.
Well, the crowd wants an intentional grounding, but Schaub gets enough on this. It makes it past the line of scrimmage, and Andre Johnson was in the vicinity of where the ball dropped. Now, no question, Matt Schaub wasn't trying to complete that. He was trying to get rid of it. But he was well within his right to throw that football where he did and have it be 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 19.
So 2nd down as Walter splits to the top of your screen. Andre Johnson lines up as a wingback on the bottom. Slayton running. And Slayton wrestled down at the 11-yard line by Desmond Bishop. A 3-yard gain takes us to the 2-minute warning. Packers 7, Texans 7. Back after this. And welcome back. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join J.B. Shannon, Coach Cowler, and the Boom for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. 3rd down and 7 at the 11-yard line for Houston. Matt Schaub, empty backfield out of the gun. Here's Schaub, bounces out of the pocket, buying time, and dumps it. So the Texans will settle for a field goal with 1:54 remaining in the first half.
And that's the kind of red zone defense the Packers would like to stick with. I mean, they gave him one end zone, but he's looking right there. He's looking for Anderson or Walter, whichever one pops open. Anderson comes open quick, but then gets covered up by Woodson. And by that time, Schaub's running for his life in the backfield and has to throw it away.
So it brings on Chris Brown. No attempted 30-yarder since the start of last season. Brown has missed only 6 field goals, 45 of 51. This one down, up, and good. 1:50 to play. 2nd quarter, Texans take a 10-7 lead. Voting for the 2009 Pro Bowl online.com ends Tuesday at noon Eastern time. Vote online or on your mobile phone today only at NFL.com/Pro Bowl. Now, I always thought that the Packers team colors were gold and green. You see a lot of orange.
A lot of hunters. If they're not at the Packers game, they're in the woods. Well, I'll tell you guys, everywhere you go here, though, people love the Packers, and they're really friendly. Really friendly. They love football, and I remember even years and years ago when I played here, they were really appreciative of both teams. They loved having the NFL here in Green Bay.
Brown sends it away. Blackman starts from the goal line. Blackman head of steam. Blackman pops it. Blackman! Can he get there? Flag on the play. We'll see. Touchdown, Green Bay. 99 yards.
Yeah, there's no question this one's coming back. Even the Packers' offensive line's already
During the
out on
return, holding. Number 57, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Jason Hunter. Third holding penalty today.
You'll see him right here. He's gonna be working on nading, and he wraps his arms around. He's got his arm around the outside of the shoulder, and you can see there the flag comes right in, and it's right at the point of attack, and the officials are all watching that spot, and it's easy call to make. It's tough on a great return, but on that case, Gus, if he doesn't hold him, that return may not go the distance.
So the Packers, instead of having a 99-yard touchdown, take over at their own 17. Green Bay with 3 timeouts left for Aaron Rodgers, who starts in the shotgun. 3 receiver package. Rodgers steps up, dumps it to his tailback Brandon Jackson, who stopped by D'Amico Ryans after a 4-yard gain, and the Packers will get to the line of scrimmage quickly.
Yeah, both teams have their full complement of timeouts. Both have 3 timeouts, and the Pack will go no huddle here and stay spread.
2nd down and 6. Rodgers over the middle. Donald Lee down the seam, and he's close to midfield as the Packers.
They'll take a timeout here, Gus. It's a smart call. It's quicker to take the timeout and take up the yardage than to wait and then spike it and go first down again. You'll watch Lee's coming right up the right side of your screen, and then just breaks down in between the hashes, and what a sensational throw by Aaron Rodgers. And you get 3 timeouts left, Gus, when you start this 2-minute drill. The clock's almost irrelevant, because if you're going to be successful, your timeouts are going to make it possible for you to get all the way down there. So the clock's really irrelevant. And then when you start using your timeouts, depending on the clock, then you can start thinking about, getting out of bounds and doing that. But as you can see, with 3 timeouts, work the middle of the field, everything, your whole playbook's open. They could even do a running play here, a draw play out of the shotgun or something like that. That's how much time 3 timeouts can give you.
First down and 10 now for Rodgers, and the Packers at their own 46-yard line. 1:06 to play in the 2nd quarter. James Jones in motion. Rodgers with time all day. Underneath, Jackson with the catch. And he is wrestled down after a 2-yard pickup. Well, for Mason Crosby, the field goal kicker, where do the Packers have to get to be in his range?
They've got to get at least the 30-yard line. That'll be a 47-yard attempt, Gus, and even that's on the edge in this kind of weather.
2nd down and 8 at the 48. Rodgers underneath, and Rodgers completing it to Donald Driver, who is stopped by Xavier Adibi. And the Packers call another timeout now with 1 remaining. And don't forget, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Shannon, Coach Cower, and Boomer for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. So Mason Crosby, there you go. You say about the 35 seat.
Yeah, I think in the direction they're headed, left to right, I don't know. I think 35-yard line's pushing it, but they, no question, Gus, when time's running out, they're going to try it no matter where they get to.
And you talked earlier today, we were having breakfast about how when it's cold outside, the ball feels like a weight.
Oh, yeah.
When a kicker has to kick it.
It gets rock, and it's almost like a polished rock. It gets slipperier as well. So, it gets hard and tough to kick.
3rd down and 3 at the 47. Rodgers sprinting out of the pocket, throws on the run. Picked off Dante Robinson at the 40. Nicely done. First turnover for the Packers with 33 seconds left, and Houston has 3 timeouts.
Yeah, Dante Robinson just comes up and just doesn't leave. He lets Driver go deep and then steps in front of Jennings. Aaron Rodgers thought right here, he thought Robinson was going to drop back off with Donald Driver and go deep, but he didn't. He sloughed off and stepped right underneath Jennings, and that's what gave him the chance. Aaron Rodgers never saw him. He saw him engage with drivers. He ran by, thought that was a defender that was used up by the other receiver, and he wasn't. Robinson sloughed off, went to the outside, read the quarterback's eyes, and made the pick.
Robinson with a severe knee injury last year, started the season on the sideline, and now is back in the starting lineup underneath. And this reception is made at the 45-yard line by Andre Johnson. He picks up 5 yards. Bishop with another tackle, and a timeout called by Houston.
Yeah, with this little time left, you got to start using your timeouts out. That's the first one used by Houston. And, you know, with 22 seconds, they're thinking now. I think the 35-yard line may be doable. I think the breeze is a little bit right to left. So, but it's the exact same thing the other time, Gus. If they get close, they're going to try it no matter what.
Chris Brown, who's been excellent. As you take a look at the flags, there is going to be a breeze at his back.
There's not much wind here today. A lot of the local guys were saying, you know, gosh, at least it's not windy, as if, you know, well, you take what you can get.
Wow.
You take what you can get, no question.
I'd hate to see if it were windy, Steve. Bro, especially considering that neither one of us can feel our toes right now.
It is so cold.
2nd down and 5 at the 45 for Matt Schaub, who's thrown an interception in the first half. Empty backfield. 4 receivers. Schaub over the middle, incomplete. Andre Johnson, the intended receiver. Al Harris jumps on his back. And that brings up 3rd down.
Well, there's that matchup we spoke about a little earlier. Al Harris, he doesn't even step in the defensive huddle. He just waits till the offensive huddle breaks and then walks to wherever Andre Johnson is. You see at the top of your screen, gets right in. You see there's almost a little bit of a rub. Andre Johnson stops, hesitates, and then heads on across. Al Harris is too experienced to fall for it, and he breaks the pass up.
3rd down and 5 at the 45. Texans are 4 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Walter in motion. Here's Schaub looking that way underneath. Owen Daniels with the reception, and he picks up the 1st down and gets to the Green Bay 44, an 11-yard gain, and the Texans call a timeout.
Well, they're thinking right now with a 1st and 10 and only a few seconds left in this half, 13 seconds. They've got time for maybe one more play. I would say it's not going to be an end zone play, Gus. It's going to be a 5-10, a field goal range type play, just to get them another 5 or 10 yards to get a legitimate shot at taking the lead into the halftime, or at least extending their lead.
13 seconds.
And so they're not going to try for the end zone, I don't think. I think they're going to try to get a little better field position and get a little higher percentage field goal attempt.
Gary Kubiak in his 4th season.
It doesn't mean it's got to happen.
You can't back out of it now.
Well, that's what
you got to stick with it.
That's what you just get me 10 yards, and we got a chance to go in with a 6-point lead.
1st down and 10 at the 44. Schaub fires over the middle, incomplete, broken up. He tried to get Anderson and the 10 yards, but Jared Bush is there to knock it away with 9 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and now they got time to do the same thing again. You see Anderson almost stopped and then went, and Bush, it's amazing because, not amazing, but Anderson comes in and they're running man routes. But right now, the Packers aren't even looking at the receivers. They're watching Matt Schaub's eyes. And when he starts to turn and starts to release the ball, they're breaking on his release point and getting right to the football.
2nd down and 10 at the 44. 9 seconds remaining. Here's Schaub. Steps up. Delivers Slayton down the sideline. He's got to get out. And he does. With 1 second remaining. He gets out of bounds after picking up 21 yards.
What a great play by Slayton and Schaub. And Slayton's heads up because a lot of young players, Gus, especially a guy who's been successful like Slayton has, will say, hey, I'm going to score a touchdown. But he does the right thing and gets out of bounds, knowing his team's got 1 shot left to get some points. What a smart play by a young player, not trying to do everything himself and be a hero, but to give his place kicker a chance to extend the lead. Really smart play by a young player.
So the ball will be spotted at the 31-yard line. A 41-yard attempt. It's up. Oh, and he pushed it. No good. Packers dodge a bullet. End of the first half, and the score Houston 10, Green Bay 7. So Chris Brown unsuccessful. 10-7 our score at the break. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the National Football League on CBS. Welcome back to Green Bay. Halftime score, Texans with a 10-7 lead. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker, tight first half.
Yeah, it really was. The statistics were, kind of even all the way across. And I think both clubs are running the ball well enough to use their play action passes. Aaron Rodgers is finding a lot of different receivers. And at one point, 13 different guys had caught a pass in this game for both teams. I mean, it was really, they're spreading the football around and doing exactly what they want. Turnovers have been the difference.
All right, let's take a look at the statistics from the first half.
And you've seen this before from the Texans. If you watch them throughout the season, they put up good numbers offensively, but they just don't come away with the win. And really, it's because of those turnovers. They lead now, or losing now 2-1 in the turnover ratio, but they're 5 of 8 on third down. I mean, they're rushing the yard, rushing the ball very well. I mean, this is a game that that has been typical of the Texans. You look at it, they missed the field goal going in at halftime. They should have had a 6-point lead. They fumbled the ball going into the end zone, which would have made it a 13-point lead. And now, as it is, it's a 3-point lead, and the Green Bay Packers are exactly where they want to be.
And a reminder, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. So we're ready to start the second half. The Packers will have the football. Aaron Rodgers puts on his helmet. He threw that interception in the first half as Mike McCarthy looks on.
Yeah, I think it's key in the second half here for the Packers, Gus. They've got to move the ball and be more productive on first and second down here in the second half. Mix it up a little more on first down. Let Aaron Rodgers throw it a little bit more. Get themselves into third and short. Stay on the football field offensively. And then defensively, I think they're having a lot more success when they pressure Matt Schaub and blitz him right in his face.
So Chris Brown sends it away, and it's fielded at the 15 by Blackman. Blackman looking for a seam, and he crosses the 35, or gets to the 35, before being brought down. A 21-yard return. Antoine Molden with the tackle on special teams. As you take a look, the weather here, 9 degrees with a 5-mile-per-hour wind. Snow expected in the forecast for later on this evening.
That graphic's wrong, though. It doesn't feel like -1. It feels like -10. It feels worse than -1, and -1 feels pretty bad.
First down and 10 at the 35. Here's Hall and Grant lining up in the I formation. Rodgers throwing on first down. Underneath, incomplete. Greg Jennings, the intended receiver. And let's take a look at Aaron Rodgers in the first half.
When he came out, found a lot of different receivers, as we said. He moved around. All his guys started making lots of good catches, fully extended, had the touchdown pass to Lee, got his team back into the game. And I like the way he works the field, Gus. I like the way he finds a lot of different receivers, and I like the way he hangs in the pocket.
Second down and 10 at the 35. Rodgers, far side. That one almost picked off again. Wow, dangerous pass, as Jennings was the intended receiver. Jacques Reeves was there.
Yeah, you'll see this pass comes in high and behind him. And that's, you got to put that on him. Jennings takes a nice shot, even though he doesn't catch it. But that's just a little inaccurate pass right there by Rodgers. And I think we've seen that a couple of times today. I don't know if it's the cold or whether it's Rodgers, trying to steer the football away from a defender who's breaking on it. But, he's got to be a little bit more accurate on those kind of throws.
Third down and 10 at the 35. Now Rodgers in the shotgun. Stepping up, Rodgers throws on the run, incomplete. Once again, Ravel Martin, the intended receiver, and the Packers go 3 and out. Mario Williams with pressure.
Yeah, and they had 4 receivers to the near side, and Roger, I think he was waiting on a guy. He just waited on his first option a little too long, Gus, and just like I said a moment ago, they were totally unsuccessful on 1st and 2nd down and ended up 3rd and 10, and now they're punting.
So Jeremy Capanos punts from the 20, and he gets away a very solid punt. Jacoby Jones from the 17, and Jacoby Jones straight ahead, and he runs over the 30 up to the 31, a 47-yard punt, a 13-yard return. And here come the Texans. And welcome back. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you as the Texans take over 1st down and 10 at their own 32. Play fake. Shaw drops it off. Leach, the fullback, out of the backfield with great running room, and he is tackled inside Green Bay territory, and a flag on the play. Maybe a face mask. Bishop with the tackle.
Yeah, there's 3 flags that flew in all simultaneously. Vontae Leach.
During the run, personal foul, face mask, number 55, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
To be at the end of the play, and you get a fullback, you see there it is. I mean, that's no question, that's a face mask. Fullback catches the ball out of bounds, Gus, they never go out of bounds. He catches on a little swing pass. He's hoping everybody on the defense takes a shot at him so he can have a shot back. A nice catch and run, though, by Leach, though, no question about it.
So they tack on 15 yards at the end of that run. All of a sudden, the Texans have the football at the Green Bay 32.
Yeah, it turns it into a big play.
Walter in motion. Now Slayton running the football. And Slayton wrapped up Ryan Pickett, the left defensive tackle, with the stop. And that is a no gain. As you take a look at the statistics, Matt Schaub in the 1st half, 220 yards passing, 100 of those yards going to Kevin Walter. Slayton close to 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, Slayton's really having a good day. Had a couple of nice big runs, but he's also been productive in short yardage. And then, of course, the receivers. Those are the 2 big guns. 1 for 11 for Jennings, 2 for Andre Johnson.
2nd down and 10 at the 32. Slayton, the single setback. Here he is skipping. And Slayton going down. Now, something interesting happened before the game. I was talking to you, and you played in Buffalo for so many years, and I said, is it just a macho thing when you see these guys come out and they have on no undershirts on under their uniform, and their sleeves aren't there?
Well,
and you said something interesting.
Well, the home team will come out and they'll have their sleeves off for warm-ups, and the Texans come down from the south. They don't really know how to dress, so they kind of look at the home team, say, how are they dressing? And they'll say, oh, I see it. If I get heated up, I won't need the undershirt. So the Packers come out, warm up with no sleeves, then they go in and put them on, and the Texans come out without sleeves, and they're stuck with no sleeves.
3rd down and 6 at the 28. Shaw underneath. Daniels leans forward, and I don't know if he has enough for the 1st down, as he is stopped on the play by Will Blackman.
Yeah, he's going to be short of about a half a yard. But there's no question, Gus, you get these guys in here that play in this kind of weather, they know how they want to feel when the game's going on, and they'll dress accordingly. And teams who aren't used to it will come out and experiment before game time and pregame and in warm-up to find out exactly how they're going to feel once the game gets going, and it's difficult to know exactly. So sometimes you'll peek at the other team, the home team with the experience, and get an idea of what you should do.
So Chris Brown will get another opportunity. He missed a 41-yarder at the end of the 1st half. This one from 41 yards away, and this time he nails it. So with 11:53 to play in the 3rd quarter, the Texans take a 13-7 lead. And welcome back as the Texans make it a 13-7 game. Chris Brown has had a switch in his snapper this week.
Yeah, today it's Clark Harris who is replacing the player who has a bad kick, who is suspended.
And the Packers pick it up and out of bounds.
Jason Hunter on the return.
As we take a look at Brian Pittman was the snapper, and he is serving his suspension. Thursday on CSI, Lawrence Fishburne and William Peterson together for the first time on TV's #1 show. Missing it will be a crime. A new CSI Thursday on CBS, America's most watched network.
There's a lot of things going on, Gus. You look over at the Packers, and their holder, Matt Flynn, has not been holding all year. It was the punter, Derek Frost, who was holding, and now he's gone. So Flynn steps in as a holder. So both teams kind of shuffling around on their specialist trio, the snapper, holder, and kicker and punter.
First down at the 30-yard line. Here's Grant. Grant with a big opening, and he gets inside Houston territory. Brandon Harrison with the saving tackle. A gain of 19.
Yeah, you said it, Gus. I mean, this was a big one. He's going to come right over here and break it up right between or just inside that tackle as he moves out. He cuts it right back behind the pursuit, and it just opens wide. And you saw it right as it happened. They just didn't get the backside sealed off defensively, and he found it.
First down at the 49. Rodgers hands it off. Grant again. And Grant, 3 yards on the play. Travis Johnson, the nose tackle, with the stop.
Yeah, Frank Oakham almost had Grant right in the backfield. Couldn't pull him in. I mean, Oakham came free, and Grant just made him miss and got the couple-of-yard gain instead of the couple-of-yard loss.
Grant, 11 carries, 55 yards. Second down and 7 at the 48. Grant again. And this time he stumbles forward and gets to the 44. Picks up 4, Xavier Adibi.
And the last series, the Pack came out through 3 straight times. It was a 1-2-3 and out, Gus. Now, Mike McCarthy looks like he's getting the hammer out. Grant's running it 3 straight times, and it's been very successful. Now, you know, you start doing this, Gus. The Packers are good at it. Aaron Rodgers is going to hand it out to a guy to hand it off for the run. He's going to pull it back in and try for the home run.
Third down and 3 at the 44. Packers 0 for 6 on third down conversions today. Here's Rodgers. Fires one, and it's knocked down. Reeves reaching across and knocking it away, and Green Bay has to punt again.
You saw it, Gus. I mean, they had it going on. The Packers are moving the ball well, and they try and convert a third down, and they just can't get it done. It's not a bad throw by Rodgers, but Reeves is just all over it. They just don't believe that the Packers are going to run deep, and they squat on all the routes, and they're just sitting in the middle of it.
So Capanos will punt from the 42. Pops this one high in the air. Jacoby Jones lost it, gets it back, and covers it up at the 10. A 34-yard punt. So Jeremy Capanos, after a 25-yard attempt, or rather punt on his first one, has really settled in and has done a fine job of punting the football for the Packers. Jacoby Jones taking his eye off of it. He gets a lucky bounce. And welcome back. First down and 10 for Houston at their own 10-yard line. Leach and Slayton in the backfield. Here's Slayton running over the right side. And Slayton keeps his feet moving. Then he gets to the 15. A.J. Hawk with the tackle. Minnesota and Detroit. Here's James Brown in New York.
Little fight in the Lions, Gus, after a Minnesota Chester Taylor 17-yard touchdown run. 3 plays later, Culpepper up top to Calvin Johnson. 70 yards, Gus. 13-10 Detroit. Steve Tasker, not quite a Gus Johnson call, but close. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB. Well, Green Bay would love to see the Lions defeat the Packers, trailing by 2 games with 4 games to go in the division. Slayton keeps those feet moving again, and he picks up another 5 yards. A.J. Hawk again with the tackle, and Slayton has now gone over the 1,000-yard mark for the season.
And what a nice season it's turning out to be for Steve Slayton.
Gained 6 yards there. 5.1 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, 17 carries, 103 yards today.
When you go into these teams, you talk to them about each other. You always get a feel for what the guys really like from the defense that has to face them, and it was evident that the Packers had a lot of respect for this rookie.
First down. Here's Schaub, looking. Schaub for Andre Johnson, incomplete. Harris running stride for stride with the NFL's top receiver.
Well, these guys are spending so much time together, they're going to be on each other's holiday card list. As Al Harris is running right stride for stride with him. You can't cover it any better. You see there, almost grabs him, but he doesn't. That's how you do it. That's well defended. That's well defended. You can say something about his left arm getting across this thing, but he knocks the ball away, goes up for it, and then, of course, after the ball's on the ground, he gives him a little extra push as he goes by.
Harris named to his first Pro Bowl last year. Slayton hits the corner. Slayton turns and goes down at the 26. 5-yard pickup. Charles Woodson with the stop. And four of the top candidates for the Offensive Rookie of the Year are Chicago running back Matt Fort, currently 5th in the league in rushing. Tennessee's Chris Johnson is closing in on 1,000 yards while splitting carries with Lindale White. And Steve Slayton has rushed for over 900 yards this season. And Atlanta quarterback Matt Ryan has guided the Falcons to an 8-4 season.
Well, I think you look at Matt Ryan and the season he's had on a team that was horrific a year ago and the change that he's brought to. I think Matt Ryan is a guy you have to nod to right now, but those other three are good candidates as well.
Forte leads all rookies in rushing. On 3rd down and 5 at the 26. A 6-yard pickup for Owen Daniels.
Got just enough for the first down, it looks like, although they may measure it. And this is just, it's kind of a rub where you see Anderson go up and then Daniels break underneath. And if they're in man coverage, as the pack is, a lot of times the defenders bump into each other. It's not like a block down the field by the receiver. It's where you get the defenders to rub against each other and bump into each other and free up the receivers because of that.
First down at the 31. Andre Davis in motion. Here's Schaub. Quick release. Davis with the catch, and he's dropped at the 20. Great job by Charles Woodson, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Only a 1-yard gain, and he's playing strong safety today.
Yeah, it's really unselfish of him as well. I mean, this is a guy that's a Pro Bowl caliber corner, particularly this year with all the interceptions. And, you know, I spoke to Bob Sanders, defensive coordinator for the Pack. He said the guy's really unselfish. He says, I will play back there if you need me to. And, of course, what that does is it ends up the Green Bay Packers now have 4 cornerbacks playing in their secondary, so they can even play man-to-man coverage without making their nickel substitutions.
2nd down and 9 at the 32. Slayton caught in the backfield and wrapped up. Great job by Mike Montgomery. And that's a loss of 4 yards.
Well, you'll see it right here. He gets a hard inside move and goes right around the left tackle, Dwayne Brown of the Texans. He stands up Dwayne Brown, and Brown can't step down. You see Dwayne Brown standing up, putting his head back, going, I can't believe the guy got inside on me.
Makes it 3rd down and 12 at the 29. They need to go to the 41 for first down. Kevin Walter crosses. Matt Schaub sets up a screen. Slayton looking for a seam, and he won't get it. What a nice tackle by Charles Woodson. He just jumped on him. A 5-yard gain, and Houston will have to punt.
Oh, you said it, Gus. Charles Woodson came up, and it looked like it was going to be another one of those plays where Slayton makes something out of it. Looks like he's got room, tries to come up. Watch Woodson. Boom, gets him, just pulls him right to the ground. What a sensational tackle coming through the gap, coming up fast on a screenplay that was well set up and still defending it.
So Will Blackman is back deep. Turk from the 20. He faked it. He faked it. Turk, he's got the first down and more. And watch the Houston Texans pull a rabbit out of their hat. As Turk fakes the punt to keep the drive alive and gain 18.
Well, he faked it, Gus, but I don't think it was called. He comes up, he thinks it's blocked, and it probably was. It probably was. Corey Hall came right up through the middle, right there. You'll see right there Matt Turk thinks it's going to get blocked, so he just pulls it down and gets one more block, and then it's all she wrote. He's gone. Watch there. He sees that, gets great pressure. The Packers, without question, had the block on, and Turk saw it and made something out of nothing. What a great break for the Texans because they have a veteran punter.
And he gets a lot of respect from his teammates on the sideline. 13-7 Houston. And welcome back. First down now for the Texans at the 47. Here's Schaub firing up top. Incomplete. Andre Davis, the intended receiver. Tramon Williams covering. As we take another look at the fake punt.
You'll see it coming right up the middle. Turk sees the pressure coming from Corey Hall. The Packers run it really well. They really execute it extremely well, and Matt just says he's not going to get it, and then it opens up. He gets one last block there from Ryan Moats, the running back.
And that's the thing, he got a great block, and when a punter pulls it down like that and decides to run, like on defense when there's an interception and they'll cry out, Oski, what does the punter say?
Well, the punter will make a call.
As Andre Johnson grabs it on the sideline.
Yeah, you're right, Gus. There are calls made like Oski for an interception or bingo. When a punter has that happen to him, as you watch this replay, the punter has a call he makes, and usually the guys will hear it. He'll just go. Because that's not supposed to happen. And then as he's running out of bounds, he'll say, don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me.
Turk got out of bounds. He's 40 years old. First down and 10 at the 27. Here's Slayton. And Slayton down at the 25. Campbell with the tackle. Tennessee and Cleveland. Here's James Brown in New York.
Hey, Gus, we know that the Titans can clinch the South with the win today. They look like they're in route play action by Kerry Collins on the roll, hooking up with Justin Gage at the back of the end zone, a 9-yard strike. Tennessee out in front, 21-6. That in the third. Back to Gus Johnson and Steve Tasker.
All right, JB, so Tennessee continuing to play well with an 11-1 record. Second down and 7 at the 24. And a flag.
False start, number 44, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Oh, there.
So on second down and 12. False start. Kerry Kubiak. He's taken some chances in this game. His team has played extremely well. Should be up by more than just a 13-7 score. Second down and 12 of the 29. Slayton lining up as a receiver. They ran a screen out of this formation before. This time underneath, caught by Walter. And Walter fumbled it. He fumbled the football, but what do they call?
Call him down by contact all the way up to the 16-yard line. They're going to give him the first down as well. You'll see here, Walter's going to come across, and he's going to take the shot right there.
Whoa. Wow. And the red flag is out.
Nick Collins got him, and that ball's out. And we'll have to see, though, where the whistle was. And this is one of those convoluted little reviews where had the whistle blown, was the ball dead, who's going to get it? And we'll have to wait and see and how they sort this out.
No challenge on the play.
Yeah, it was not reviewable because of they had blown it dead at the spot of the contact, so it wasn't reviewable. They just went on with play.
First down and 10 of the 16. Slayton. And Slayton lost it. This time it's a fumble, and the Packers have it. Johnny Jolly. And the Packers have the football at their own 20. 3 turnovers today for Houston.
Gus, I'll tell you what, that is the story of the year for both of these clubs. The Green Bay Packers do a great job, maybe better than anybody else, about ripping the ball out, getting interceptions, getting the ball away from their opponent on turnovers. And the Houston Texans are a team that's battling just to stay in the conversation about the playoffs because they turn it over. They have got an offense that moves the football, scores points, but turns it over entirely too much week in, week out.
Green Bay leading the NFL in takeaway points now with the football at the 21, down 13-7, under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Aaron Rodgers has been mediocre today. Underneath. And the ball is caught. This time it's James Jones. But Rodgers has shown an ability to not only get hot, Steve, but get hot quickly.
Yeah, no question. He did it last week. He had a great game last week, I thought. I mean, in bringing the Pack back, getting him a lead with a 95-yard drive to give him a 31-28 lead. And then, of course, it got away from him when the Carolina Panthers put up a couple of big plays to get back on top. And then the Pack couldn't answer after that.
Second down and 2 at the 29. Here's the handoff to Grant. And Grant gets to the 31. Picks up a first down. A gain of 2. D'Amico Ryans in on the play.
Now this is going to come down to where they spotted. I think they're going to give him the first down. Yeah, I think he got the first down. It's going to be close, but he got it. But you're right, Gus. Aaron Rodgers has played really consistently today. And if you think about the Texans and where they've been this year, you had Owen Daniels going into the end zone early in the first half. It took away 7 points. And then the missed field goal at halftime. And then the turnover right there, which took away at least 3 points, or at least an attempt for 3 points. This is a much bit different ball game than it would otherwise have been had Houston not turned the football over.
So a first down for Green Bay. 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Steve Slayton fumbling the football. 3 turnovers today for Houston.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, though, Gus, the 3 turnovers Houston gave up today, they were forced. They weren't just mistakes by the Texans. The Green Bay Packer defense has really done a great job of forcing those turnovers. And the one right before the turnover we just saw, they forced one that didn't go their way.
First down at the 31. Play fake. Rodgers rolling, looking downfield for the home run. It's Jennings. Oh, it's caught at the 5. Greg Jennings. Unbelievable.
When Rodgers let this go, Gus, I thought there was no way he was going to fit it in between Harrison and Hall, and I'm telling you what, unbelievable catch by Greg Jennings between Harrison and Reeves. Boom. Wow.
And welcome back. Houston, you have a problem because Rodgers is starting to heat up a little bit with the football now. The Packers first down and goal at the Houston 6.
Man, you called it, Gus. You said Rodgers has that knack for getting hot at the right time and getting hot quickly. A 63-yard pass play right down the pipe.
First down and goal at the 6. Grant. Touchdown, Green Bay. Bada bing, bada boom. Aaron Rodgers, 63-yard strike, and Grant runs it in from 6 yards out. All made possible after the Slayton fumble.
I'll tell you, Gus, it's the perfect time to bust it into the end zone after you hit him for a big, big play. Great job by the fullback, John Kuhn, who passes the first defender and goes right into the second level and roots out the last guy to get a chance for the tackle.
Extra point up and good, and Green Bay takes the lead. Start of the fourth quarter, Packers 14, Texans 13. We've got a ball game in Green Bay. Welcome back as the Packers take their first lead of the day, 14-13 on the Grant 6-yard touchdown run. So now Green Bay ready to kick it off. Andre Davis is back deep for the Texans. And Davis from the 10. Davis over the 35 up to the 37, a 27-yard return. John Kuhn with the tackle. Here comes Steve Slayton.
Got a 1-point game.
And welcome back. We've got a 1-point game as we start the 4th quarter. Packers with their first lead, but now the Texans will start at their own 37. First down. Play fake. Shot over the middle. Caught inside Green Bay territory. Walter has been sensational this afternoon. He gains 15 yards there. Walter, 4 catches, 132 yards.
Yeah, it's just a big play-action pass as Andre Johnson goes right down the middle, and Walter comes right in there underneath him in the vacated area. And Schaub had plenty of time to stand back there, step up, and gun it right down low to the ground, make sure of the completion.
First down at the Green Bay 48. Here's Schaub rolling out of the pocket, looks backside, but delivers over to the sideline rather. And this is Joel Dreesen with a 4-yard pickup. Dreesen backup tight end to Owen Daniels as Papinga come up with the tackle.
I think one of the things about this offense of the Texans, Schaub's getting the hang of it. When you get into a game, sometimes, Gus, you'll see quarterbacks hang on to the ball and try and throw the ball downfield on those bootlegs. I think as the game wears on, Matt Schaub gets a feel for the fact that in this game he's going to have to throw it quick to the shallow guy on all those bootlegs.
Second down and 6. Schaub underneath. Davis with the catch, backpedaling. Davis still moving, and he's taken down inside the 25. Andre Davis picks up 21 yards as Tramon Williams finally manages to stop him.
Yeah, and that ball was thrown right in his numbers. Watch as Schaub comes back. He's going to throw this, boom, right on his inside number. And once you throw it there, Gus, all the receiver has to do is clamp onto it, and then he gains an extra 12 yards just by hanging onto the football and going with the momentum.
First down at the Green Bay 23. Slayton. And Slayton trying to get to the 20. He'll settle to the 21. Michael Montgomery in on the play. As subs come in, Alfred Malone and Justin Harrell, 2 defensive linemen for the Packers.
Yeah, and the Packers defense, it does a nice job. And they're a get-after-you defense. They're a pressure defense. And, you know, this Texan offense, you know, you wonder, you know, they move the ball, it seems sometimes, Gus, they move it at will, but they just don't finish drives like they should.
Second down and 8 at the 21. As they begin the wave here at Lambeau Field. Slayton running. And Slayton down to the 16-yard line. Montgomery again on the tackle. A 5-yard pickup, and this is the 3rd time this year Houston has gone over the 400-yard mark in a game. They have 438 yards.
Yeah, and with 438 yards, they've only got 13 points to show for it, and that's the problem.
Good point. 3rd down. Coach McCarthy, Coach Kubiak on the left. Slayton, a single setback. They fake the pitch. Schaub rolling, looking. Schaub delivers over the middle. Walter, and he's denied the first down.
Oh, he got a nice spot, though. I was with you, Gus. I thought he got denied the first down, but then the official came in and gave him quite the beneficial spot. And it looks like he's going to have it. Watch the shot, and I'm telling you what, Gus, nobody on the Packers was fooled by this bootleg. He had to throw it back inside, which is a little bit dangerous. And I think he got the first down.
Wow,
he did.
He got it by the nose of the football.
I was with you guys from up here in our vantage point. We both thought he was stopped short. But when Schaub came out and turned around to find a receiver out there, they were all covered, and there were people chasing him right now. The Packers were all over that bootleg, but it didn't matter because they got the first down. Watch here. He's got to get another yard or so. I don't know that the ball ever got that far, but certainly that's where they spotted it.
First down and 10 at the 13-yard line of Green Bay for the Houston Texans. Steve Slayton running straight ahead, and he lowers his shoulder and gets to the 10-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. Michael Montgomery brings him down.
And this, you almost get the feeling that the Texans now, after turning the football over so many times, they're just kind of saying, listen, we're just going to make sure we get a chance to get 3 points out of this, get the lead back away from the Packers, and then put the pressure back on them. There's a lot of time in the fourth quarter, and we can't afford another mistake that we're going to have to overcome.
Second down and 8 from the 11. Schaub rolling. Schaub looking, fires, touchdown Houston. Andre Johnson found a soft spot in the back of the end zone, and the Texans reclaim the lead.
Al Harris is hot. He thinks Andre Johnson pushed off in the back of the end zone, but here we go again. Matt Schaub, play action bootleg coming out. This time Andre Johnson comes out late. The Packers didn't shut Schaub off. Now we'll see here. Al Harris was vehement after this play was done. We'll see if Andre Johnson pushes off. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that's a great route by Andre Johnson. There was just so much time for him to come open. Al Harris just had to cover too long. It's too much to ask.
And now
Houston takes a timeout, and they're going to go for 2 points.
19-14 the score right now. Gary Kubiak shaking the dice again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot, the official home improvement sponsor of the NFL. In high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. And by the all-new 09 F-150. It's not just a new truck, it's a new F-150.
Welcome back. Gary Kubiak electing to go for 2, but he burned a timeout. Houston with only 1 timeout remaining. That could come back to haunt him later. So the 2-point conversion. Slayton in the backfield. They fake the reverse. Schaub buying time. Throws. And he got it. Great job by Matt Schaub, as he waited until the last possible second to throw the football.
Andre Johnson came all the way across the formation. When Schaub came out there, this looked done. And yet he finds it. Oh, and he dragged it. That's a good call. That's a touchdown. The crowd saw it on replay. They didn't like it. But there's no question. He catches it, and drags his foot. Catch and drags his toe. Yeah, that's a catch, touchdown, actually extra point. That's good. He's got the ball there, his left foot, and he drags his toe. You see the dirt fly up right there. That's a good call.
So Andre Johnson not only scores a touchdown, he adds a 2-point conversion, which makes it a 7-point game with 10:05 to play. Andre Johnson going over 6,000 yards for his career. 30 career touchdowns now. 4 catches, 55 yards today, and a touchdown.
I'll tell you, you can learn a lot by watching Gary Kubiak run an offense. If you've got a guy who's number 1 in the league in catches, number 1 in yards, you go to him, and especially in crucial situations.
But the Packers are challenging the call on the field. So they're challenging the...
After reviewing the play, it is a 2-point try is good. The receiver had control of the ball, left foot down, and was able to drag his right foot. It is good.
Yeah, there's no question they got the right call on this. When Andre Johnson went up to catch this, he came down, his left foot came down flat in the end zone, and his right foot, you're going to see the dirt fly up right as he trusts it. Now this foot's down. Watch right there. He drags his other foot, and the little rooster tail of sod goes up behind him, and the officials got it right.
So that will cost Green Bay a timeout. 2 timeouts left for the Packers. 1 timeout remaining for the Texans, plus the 2-minute warning. A lot of football left, though. 10:05 to play in the 4th quarter. Yeah, 21-14.
With these two teams, Gus, it's 21-14 now. This game could end up 38-35.
Yes, you're right.
It really could. I mean, with the playmakers on either side of the football and what we've seen each of them do at certain points of the season, it's highly possible there's a lot more scoring to be done.
This one coming right at you as Brown sends it to Blackman over to the sideline. Blackman picks it up inside his own 5. And he is dropped at the 10-yard line. Great special teams by Dominic Barber. But the last time the Packers had the football off the Steve Slayton turnover, they managed to go deep.
Here's the turnover where it came out, picked up by the big fella, Jolly, and then the big play, the sensational throw and catch, Rodgers to Jennings, and then the TD. Ryan Grant gets into the end zone almost untouched. It was a great drive, keyed by that huge pass play from Rodgers to Jennings.
First down and 10, Green Bay at their own 11. Rodgers, empty backfield out of the shotgun. High snap handle. Rodgers in trouble. Rodgers, quick feet, throws, and it's caught by his rookie, Jordy Nelson, who walks it out of bounds.
Well, this is what a good quarterback does. I mean, he's dead to rights right there with Anthony Weaver, and he just gets out of it. I mean, you can't put a value on that, Gus. That could have been disastrous for the Packers, and it ends up being a nice little 6-yard gain just because Matt Rodgers' ability.
Second down and 4. Here's Rodgers again, quickly, near side, and the ball caught by Ravel Martin. Packers are following the Detroit-Minnesota game today. Here's James Brown.
Hey, Gus and Steve, Tavares Jackson, in for the injured Gus Farab with the lower back issue. Tavares Jackson rolling right, throws it to Vincente Shanko, 11-yard strike. It is now 17-13, Minnesota over Detroit in the 4th. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, 3rd down and 3 at the 18-yard line. Incomplete for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers wanted a flag. He won't get it. And Houston will prepare to receive the football again. The Packers today are 0 of 8 on 3rd down conversions.
And that has killed them. And you see there, and I think that's interference. I think Dante Robinson had Driver right around the waist, wouldn't let him off the line, and when Driver got by him, he grabbed him around the waist. I think that's a missed call.
Cavanaugh sends it away. Jacoby Jones lost it. Loose. Who's got it? Wow! Turnovers. The Houston Texans continue to shoot themselves. 4 turnovers today.
Yeah, and this is just a tough punt to handle. His top spin on it is coming down, and he just misplays it. Jacoby Jones, it comes off him, and then I'll tell you, Gus, when it goes down in there, I've told you this before, Satan lives at the bottom of an NFL pile. You don't want any part of being down there. Strongest cat gets it, and the one who will stoop the lowest and pull the dirtiest trick comes out with the ball, no matter who's got it when it starts.
First down and 10 at the 49. Packers catch a break. 9:04 to go. Aaron Rodgers dropping back, fires. He has a man, and this is Grant out of the backfield, and he's dropped at the 43. D'Amico Ryans make that Xavier Adibi with the tackle after an 8-yard gain.
Well, this is a Packers a refurbishment. I mean, you can tell their body language is better. They got rejuvenated by that last turnover. They got great field position because of it. Now you can just tell they got a skip in their step coming out of the huddle. They feel good about themselves.
2nd down and 2 at the 43. Here's Grant again over the left side, and he's chopped down and knocked out of bounds by Eugene Wilson.
And here we go again, Gus. I mean, this is going to be a 3rd down. And you can say that statistic again. They're 0 for today on 3rd down.
3rd and 1 from the 21.
0 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and 1 for Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers at the Houston 42. Rodgers maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. The pitch, Grant. This time he gets a 1st down and more. Stiff arm down the sideline, and he goes out of bounds. Inside the Texans 20 as Eugene Wilson is there to usher him out of bounds.
Watch the left side of this line. They're going to string it out, and he gets led out there by Chad Clifton and Darren College, and they did a nice job on the outside. Great work on the left side of the line by the Packers. They got to the corner and got up the field.
But what a great play, what a great call by Aaron Rodgers to audible at the line of scrimmage. A 22-yard gain. And it's Grant again. And he spins down at the 11. D'Amico Ryans stops him. But now the Packers are starting to lean on this Texans team. A 9-yard gain.
You can't really overstate, Gus, what a turnover does to a team who's just walked off the field, disgusted with themselves, and to get another chance to come back out. They feel good, and it's just the opposite for the Texan defense. The wind is knocked out of them.
2nd down and 1 at the 11. Grant. And he gets to the 10-yard line. Xavier Adibi with the tackle. 6:37 and counting.
He got a 1st down. He just got just inside the 10, which was the line to gain. And they're going to move the chain. So now it's 1st and goal, Gus, just inside the 10-yard line. I think you play action pass, Gus. They've run the football. They've got the momentum. They got 2 big running backs in the backfield. Play action to see if you can pop one loose.
1st down and goal at the 9. Play action. Rodgers in trouble. Throws incomplete. Mario Williams coming close to a sack. And I think the Packers were listening to you, partner.
Yeah,
because that's
sense.
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, it made sense. I'll tell you what, Gus. They score on this play. This place comes apart. And you'll see here, Mario Williams comes way up the field, and he's got the speed to get in there, and Rodgers can step out of it. But even so doing, he's just throwing that football away. The pressure was coming in, and nobody came open on the play-action pass.
2nd down and goal at the 9. Brandon Jackson is checked in at running back. He's standing right next to Aaron Rodgers. Here's Rodgers looking for his rookie. Touchdown! Jordy! Jordy Nelson with the touchdown. And with 5:56 to go, this place is rocking. Packers with a chance to tie it up.
Aaron Rodgers throws this up to the rookie and just says, make a play for me, and he does. Jordy Nelson, big receiver, just goes up. Great throw by Rodgers, used his body, just stepped in front.
Extra point up, and good. So with 5:56 to go in the 4th quarter, we've got a tie game. Packers 21, Texans 21. Welcome back. As you take a look at the turnover graphic, the Packers have scored all of their points off of the 4 Houston turnovers today. 21 apiece. Under 6 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Line drive kick fielded at the 30-yard line. And the Texans wisely get down at the 35. Chris White, a backup center, returning it. And the Texans will have solid field position.
You know, Gus, you talk about statistics like you just said, where the Pack's got 21 points off the 4 turnovers. It's amazing that Houston is tied in this ball game with 5:53 to go in the 4th. Most teams are not good enough to turn it over 4 times and still be in the ball game.
5:53 to play in the 4th quarter. We're tied at 21. Do-or-die game for the Packers and the Texans if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. As we take a look at the game summary, Green Bay has scored all of their points on 4 Houston turnovers. Chris Brown, 2 of 3 today. He missed a 41-yarder. He has a new snapper. And Steve Slayton, excellent. He goes over the 1,000-yard mark with 114 yards rushing and a flag.
Yeah, they just
intentional grounding is the call.
They just got Matt Schaub. It took a while for him to decide whether anybody was out there in the vicinity, and there was nobody there. And there's no question he's throwing it away. And he's inside the tackle box, so he has there's no choice. And this is an intentional grounding, and it's a good call by the officials. It took them a while, but they got it right. You'll see when he throws this out there, there's nobody there. I mean, nobody.
Matt Schaub has been solid, 22 of 35, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Second down and 20. At the 25. Here's Schaub. Finds his tight end, Daniels. And Daniels gets close to the original line of scrimmage as Desmond Bishop, the outside linebacker, starting today for Brandon Chiller, makes the play on defense, and he has been terrific today.
Yeah, and after you get the intentional grounding, it's second down, so they don't get the play back. Now this brings up 3rd down, so on that play, Gus, they're trying to get half of what they needed on a 2nd and 20. They wanted to give themselves 3rd and 10 or less, and they got 3rd and 11.
3rd down and 11 at the 34. They need to go to the 45 for 1st down. Texans are 7 of 12 on 3rd down conversions out of the gun. Here's Schaub looking to the sideline. Walter with the grab, but not enough for the 1st down. Walter going out of bounds in front of Jarrett Bush.
You're right, Gus. He's not there for the 1st down. And I'll tell you what, Schaub comes back to him very late, makes a pretty good throw, but it's just a little out of his reach, and it makes him fall down out of bounds short of the 1st down, which brings on Matt Turk, who has had to pull the ball down and run for a 1st down earlier in the game because of the pressure that the Pack put on him. They had the block on, and they would have blocked it, but Matt Turk pulled it down and got the 1st. We'll see what happens here.
Turk punting from the 29. Blackman back deep. He's returned 2 for touchdowns this season from the 9. Blackman dancing. And he will not go anywhere. Gets to the 15. Kevin Bentley with the tackle on special teams. A 46-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Now coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Shannon, Coach Cower, and the Boom for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show. So Aaron Rodgers, the man that replaced the great Brett Favre, has been good and not so good. In the 2nd half, he started to play better. 17 of 28, 233, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Takes over at his own 16-yard line. His receivers have shown an ability to get deep today. Grant in the backfield with Rodgers. Rodgers looking. Driver at the 50. Driver down the sideline. That's a gain of 59.
Aaron Rodgers had all day to stand back there and wait on Donald Driver to get deep, cross into the vacant area, and make the great catch. And as he turns up the field, his buddy Greg Jennings is down the field giving him the good block to spring him for another 15 or 20 yards. Great job by the Packers on the deep route.
First down and 10 at the Houston 25. And they run it. Grant. He gets to the 23. Mario Williams with the tackle. A gain of 4.
And for those who just joined us, this is a game where the Texans have really dominated offensive stats. Gary Kubiak's team has moved the football up and down the field, but they've turned it over 4 times, once going in for a touchdown. They missed a field goal at halftime. They've turned it over a couple of times in the second half, and the Packers have taken advantage of every one of those, and that's why this is such a tight game.
Second down and 7 at the 22. Grant lines up as the single setback. Game tied at 21. Here's Grant running, lowering his shoulder, and he goes down. A flag on the play. After an 8-yard pickup, and this will go against Green Bay.
As bad as the turnovers have been against Houston.
Holding, number 75. Offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Tony Mall in for Mark Tauscher today. Tauscher had a knee injury in the first half, and that's the 4th holding penalty for Mike McCarthy's team.
Yeah, I was just saying that as bad as the turnovers have been for Houston, the penalties have been that bad for Green Bay today. That's been their problem. They've stopped themselves. You see right here in front of you.
6 penalties. 65 yards for Green Bay today.
I didn't see that penalty. I didn't think Maul held him at all.
So that makes it second down at 17. At the 32. Green Bay with 2 timeouts. Houston with 1 timeout. And we have the 2-minute warning coming as Gary Kubiak watches. In trouble. Rodgers sacked at the 41. D'Amico Ryans, the middle linebacker, shot the gap and made the play. And that may have taken them out of field goal range.
That is a huge defensive play, as big a defensive play as the Texans have made all day. Ryans just gets right past the right guard, Darren College, and gets right up into the backfield. He times the snap count perfectly, and Rodgers has got no chance.
So that makes it third down and 26 at the 41. A 9-yard loss. Jackson in the backfield. Remember, he's good on screens. Here's Rodgers. In trouble, dumps it. His tight end, Donald Lee, with the catch. And he is stopped immediately at the 40-yard line by Adibi.
What a great defensive series right there by the Texans. The big sack. Rodgers just dumping it off, forcing him to throw it short and make the tackle. Watch Mario Williams. Just a hair too late.
2 minutes remaining. Packers have to make a decision. Great defensive stand by Gary Kubiak's Houston Texans. Game tied at 21, 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter as the Packers bring on the punt team. Jeremy Capino signed this week after the release of Derek Frost to punt, and he stands at his own 48. Trying to deliver this one high in the air. It's a spiraling punt, and it takes a bounce. Great job. Jeremy Cavanos pitching pennies, and this one is down at the 2. A 35-yard punt.
In his first game as a Packer, Gus, his first punt was 25 yards, but from then on he has punted great. And this one is the best play of the day.
Spencer Havner just called up.
Cavanos hasn't even been here long enough to know you're supposed to jump up when you do the little chest bump thing. He's not familiar with that rule of the team.
So the minute and 49 remaining. Houston with 1 timeout. gets to the 5. So let's take a look at the NFC North as the Packers started the day 2 games behind Minnesota. Minnesota beating the Lions, who fall to 0-13. So Green Bay calling a timeout. They now have 1 remaining. So the story of this game, Steve, turnovers.
No question. You look back at what happened. Started early on, going in for the touchdown, boom, on the ground, going the other way for the Packers. Then the nice interception. And then a fumble by Slayton, which happened right after a fumble didn't get overturned, which should have. And then, of course, Jacoby Jones dropping the punt, set up the tying touchdown by the Packers. 21 points by Green Bay, 21 points off turnovers.
2nd down and 7 for Matt Schaub, who missed the last 5 weeks after a knee injury suffered against Minnesota. Football at his own 6. Play fake. Schaub throwing out of his own end zone. Dumps it to Leach with running room. And Vontae Leach all the way up to the 28-yard line. Nick Collins knocks him out of bounds, but it's a 22-yard gain. And the clock stops at 1:34. And there's an injured player. Looks like Nick Collins hurt on the Texans sideline.
Yeah, Vontae Leach comes out and they just forget about him. Poppinga lets him go after hitting him once and then turns inside because he thinks that the ball's going somewhere else. And then there's where, Leach just lands on his lower left leg here as he rolls over, and you can see right there.
Vontae Leach is a load.
Yeah, he is.
6 feet, 253 pounds.
We've seen that play once or twice earlier today as well. When he catches the ball going up the sideline, he is not running out of bounds.
So 1:34 to go. Game tied at 21. Nick Collins on his back is Matt Schaub with a smile. Walks back onto the field.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Gus, it's 1:34 to go, and these guys are looking around, and Matt Schaub's got a smile on his face because they love this stuff. These guys love it. It's a lot of pressure, but you love having the ball in your hands with a chance to win it with less than 2 minutes.
Now these two teams have only met once before, back in 2004. Texans jumped out to an early lead as David Carr and Dominic Davis connected on a 7-yard strike. The Packers came back in the 4th. Brett Favre to Donald Driver to cut the Houston lead to 3. With the score tied at 13, Ryan Longwell hit a 46-yarder as time expired to give the Packers a 16-13 win. So Donald Driver helped to his Nick Collins helped to his feet.
Yeah, and at this crucial point, Gus, you really don't need your defensive backs coming off the field hurt with 1:36 to go, looking at overtime in the face or trying to stop the Texans from moving down the football field with a depleted secondary.
Now, where do the Texans have to go
they've got
to get in Chris Brown territory?
Well, they can try anything from 55 or less. And they can even try it from 60 or less. But to have a legitimate shot at it, it's got to be 50 yards or less. Anything over 50 yards is 50-50. But they'll try it, Gus, with time running out. Obviously, they'll try it no matter what the distance.
1st down and 10 now for Matt Schaub at the 28-yard line. 1:34 to go. Back snap. He picks it up and runs. And is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and is lucky to still have the football.
Yeah, it's not going to call it. I think what he'll do is just run the same play again.
Here's Schaub, flag on the play, free play, and this one is caught by the speedy tight end, the wide receiver David Anderson.
Now that could not have worked out better for the Texans, Gus. It was a free play, and now not only did they get the 1st down, the clock stops while they do the penalty and sort that out. The Texans have time to gather themselves.
Number 74, defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalty will be declined. 1st down, result of the play is 1st down.
Anderson just running a little shallow cross right behind Daniels. And that's when you're in man coverage, Gus, all you need is one little crease and it could turn into a long play.
First down and 10 at the 44. 1:09 to go. Schaub throwing, and once again it's Anderson. David Anderson stopped by Charles Woodson, but gains 5 yards. As Chris Brown gets off the bench and puts his helmet on, he'll start warming up. Schaub looking over the middle. Oh, Daniels, and they're in field goal range now. Daniels down to the 25.
Yeah, they're going to let the clock run down, Gus. They may spike. He's motioning to spike it. I don't even know if I would. I'd just let the clock run, get down and try your field goal.
A 27-yard gain.
The Packers are in man coverage all the way across the board. Daniels has the hesitation and then the jump move. Bishop got caught freezing his feet. That's a great play call by Kubiak. If you've got man coverage all the way across, if one guy takes a wrong step defensively, somebody's coming open, and Matt Schaub found him.
So with 27 seconds left, Green Bay out of timeouts. Houston has one left. Slayton, 2 hands on the football. And he keeps going forward and goes down at the 21, A.J. Hawk. The clock winding down.
Yeah, they're going to wind it down to about 3 or 4 seconds. Call the timeout. He says 6 seconds and maybe.
So they stop it at 4. Chris Brown, 8 career game-winning field goals. Today, he's been good from 30 yards out, 41 yards out, and he has missed a 41-yarder. And this one will be from about 40 yards away.
Yeah, it'll be right at the 30-yard line, maybe a hair inside of it. But this is exactly what this is why Matt Schaub was smiling at the beginning of this drive. He wanted the opportunity to do this with his team. This is the early one right before halftime, just wide right. And I'll tell you guys, if you're the Packers, now the odds are against you. You don't get these kickers in the NFL coming out here going 3 for 5. They may go 4 out of 5. Usually they'll go 5 of 5, 4 of 4. If they miss on a day, it's only once. But this is no gimme.
So, Chris Brown in to attempt a 40-yarder. Matt Turk is holder. For the win, it's up and good. And the Houston Texans come into Lambeau and defeat the Packers 24-21. Matt Schaub with a 40-yard field goal to win it. Chris Brown, with a 40-yard field goal to win it as Matt Schaub led him down the field.
And there was no doubt when he kicked that, when it cleared the line of scrimmage, it was right down the middle. And I'll tell you, Gus, when your team, if you're the head coach and your team's -3 on the takeaway, you can't watch. You can't even watch the kick. Gary Kubiak with his back to the play, and Mike McCarthy, he saw it all.
So Chris Brown delivering 3 of 4 on field goals today. Matt Schaub led him down the field. Schaub finishes with 414 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And the Texans win it 24-21. So for Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Green Bay. You've been watching the National Football League on CBS. Coming up, it's the Subway postgame show. We'll take you to New York for all of the scores and highlights right after this. Happy birthday, Bill Thayer.